Introduction. Psalm 91 is a beloved and cherished chapter in the book of Psalms, known for its profound reassurance of God's protection, provision, and faithfulness. This powerful and poetic psalm is often recited and prayed by people seeking comfort, security, and spiritual strength. In this comprehensive Bible study, we will explore each verse of Psalm 91, delving into its rich symbolism, profound promises, and timeless truths. Verse 1. Dwelling in the shelter of the Most High. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. In the opening verse of Psalm 91, the psalmist emphasizes the importance of seeking refuge in God's presence. The secret place of the Most High refers to an intimate and close relationship with God. By dwelling in His shelter, we find safety, security, and the assurance that we are under the protective shadow of the Almighty. Verse 2. Declaring trust in God. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. Verse 2 encourages us to openly declare our trust in God. By acknowledging Him as our refuge and fortress, we affirm our dependence on His protection and sovereignty. This verse reminds us of the power of our words in affirming our faith and trust in the Lord. Verse 3. God's deliverance from snares and plagues. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. Verse 3 underscores God's ability to rescue us from traps and dangers. The snare of the fowler represents hidden dangers or snares set by our adversaries. The perilous pestilence signifies various trials, including physical and spiritual illnesses. God promises deliverance from these threats. Verse 4. Under His wings. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. Verse 4 employs powerful imagery, likening God's protection to a mother bird sheltering her chicks under her wings. God's truth serves as our shield and buckler, providing spiritual armor against the assaults of the enemy. This verse emphasizes God's nurturing care and the security found in His truth. Verse 5. Fearless of night terrors. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day. Verse 5 assures believers that they need not fear the threats that come in the darkness of night, or those that assail in broad daylight. With God as our protector, we can face life's challenges with courage and confidence. Verse 6. Security in God's presence. Nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. Verse 6 reinforces the idea that no matter the time or circumstances, God's presence offers security. The pestilence that walks in darkness and the destruction at noonday represent various forms of adversity, yet God's protection remains unwavering. Verse 7. Witnessing God's faithfulness. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Verse 7 highlights the contrast between God's protection and the fate of the ungodly. Even when many around us face calamity, God's faithful ones can trust that His promise of safety and deliverance will prevail. Verse 8. The importance of observation. Only with your eyes shall you look, and see the reward of the wicked. Verse 8 reminds us of the importance of observing God's faithfulness and justice. While we may witness the consequences of the wicked, we can trust that God's righteous judgment will ultimately prevail. Verse 9. God's dwelling place. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. Verse 9 underscores the vital principle of making the Lord our dwelling place. When we choose to abide in His presence, we experience His constant protection and provision. This verse emphasizes the necessity of a deep and abiding relationship with God. Verse 10. God's angels as guardians. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. Verse 10 reveals another layer of God's protection. It assures us that no evil or plague will harm us, as God has dispatched His angels as our guardians. Their watchful care ensures our safety. Verse 11. Angels charge over believers. For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. Verse 11 emphasizes the role of angels as guardians, charged with keeping believers safe in all their ways. This verse underscores the comprehensive protection that God provides through his angelic messengers. Verse 12, no stumbling on stones. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. Verse 12 continues the theme of angelic protection, assuring us that the angels will prevent us from stumbling or being harmed, even in the midst of potential dangers. Verse 13, victory over adversity. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Verse 13 employs powerful imagery, symbolizing victory over formidable adversaries. Lions and cobras represent various dangers and threats. With God's protection, believers can triumph over adversity and danger. Verse 14, God's assurance of deliverance. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high because he has known my name. Verse 14 underscores the relationship between love for God and divine deliverance. Those who love God and know his name will experience his salvation and exaltation. This verse highlights the importance of a deep and personal connection with the Lord. Verse 15, God's responsiveness to prayer. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. Verse 15 reveals God's responsiveness to the prayers of his faithful ones. When we call upon him in times of trouble, he promises to answer, be with us, deliver us, and honor us. This verse reassures us of God's unwavering presence and care. Verse 16, God's promise of long life. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Verse 16 concludes Psalm 91 with a promise of long life and the revelation of God's salvation. Those who trust in God will experience the fullness of his salvation and enjoy a long and fulfilling life in his presence. Conclusion. Psalm 91 is a profound declaration of God's protection, provision, and faithfulness. Each verse of this cherished psalm reveals layers of divine promises, symbolism, and timeless truths. It serves as a source of comfort, encouragement, and spiritual strength for believers in every season of life. As we meditate on its words and embrace its truths, may we find refuge in the shelter of the Most High and experience the fullness of God's protection and presence in our lives.